Did you know that some of the biggest voices in R&B chose to leave the spotlight behind? Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. From chart-topping legends to Grammy winners, these stars shocked the world when they walked away from fame. Here are the stories of 20 R&B stars who walked away from fame. First celebrity on our list is no other person than Number 1. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was one of the biggest stars in the music world. She started in the group The Fugees, and her voice, style, and message quickly made her stand out. In 1998, she released her solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The album was a huge success. It won 5 Grammy Awards and sold millions of copies around the world. Fans and critics loved it. People said she had changed R&B forever. But just when everyone expected more music, Lauryn Hill disappeared. She didn't go on big tours. She stopped doing interviews. She didn't release another full studio album. People were shocked and confused. Later, Lauryn said the music industry was not what people thought. She called it toxic, fake, and controlling. She didn't like how it treated artists. She said it tried to shape her into someone she was not. She felt like she had to step away to protect her true self. Lauryn chose her freedom over fame. She focused on her family and her personal growth. She became very private and only made music on her own terms. She would sometimes perform at small shows, but she never returned to the spotlight in the same way. Many people still hope she will release another big album, but Lauryn seems happy with her choice. She said she wants to live in truth and not follow what the industry demands. Even though she walked away, her music and message still inspire people today. Lauryn Hill may have left fame behind, but she never lost her power. Number 2. DAngelo. DAngelo was known for his smooth voice, deep lyrics, and soulful music. In the 1990s, he became a major R&B star with albums like Brown Sugar and Voodoo. His hit song Untitled, How Does It Feel, became a cultural moment. The music video showed him shirtless, and many fans focused on his looks instead of his music. He started to feel uncomfortable. Behind the scenes, DAngelo was struggling. Fame was not easy for him. He didn't like being treated like a sex symbol. He wanted people to listen to his music, not just talk about his appearance. The pressure made him feel lost. After releasing Voodoo in 2000, DAngelo slowly disappeared from the public eye. He stopped performing, didn't release new music, and rarely gave interviews. People didn't know what had happened to him. Later, it was revealed that he was battling alcohol problems, depression, and personal pain. The music industry was too much for him at that time. Instead of pushing forward, DAngelo chose to walk away. He stayed out of the spotlight for over a decade. During that time, he focused on healing and getting better. He worked quietly on music, but only when he felt ready. In 2014, he surprised everyone by releasing Black Messiah, an album with deep messages and powerful sound. It reminded people why he was so special. But even after that, he didn't chase fame. He did a few shows and stayed mostly private. Number 3. Tina Campbell. Tina Campbell was one half of the award-winning gospel and R&B duo Mary Mary, along with her sister Erica. Together, they made hit songs like Shackles, Praise You, that mixed faith and modern beats. Tina's strong voice and bold personality made her a fan favorite. She was a big part of gospel music's rise in pop culture. But behind the success, Tina was going through deep personal struggles. Her marriage faced serious problems after she found out her husband had cheated on her many times. This caused her great emotional pain. At the same time, being in the public eye made it hard to heal. She felt like her private life was constantly under a microscope. Instead of hiding her struggles, Tina opened up to the world. She spoke honestly about her pain, her anger, and her choice to forgive. But the pressure of fame, touring, and always being strong became too much. She realized she needed to step away and focus on her healing, her family, and her faith. Tina took a break from music and the spotlight. She devoted time to working on her marriage, raising her children, and deepening her relationship with God. She even wrote a book about her journey and released solo music at her own pace. Unlike her busy days with Mary Mary, she now chooses peace over pressure. Up next is not only a singer, but also an actor. Number 4. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson first became famous in the late 1990s with his smooth R&B voice and hit songs like Sweet Lady and Lately. He also found success as an actor, starring in blockbuster movies like Too Fast, Too Furious, Transformers, and the Fast and Furious series. He was one of the few stars who could shine in both music and film at the same time. But behind the scenes, Tyrese was dealing with a lot of personal pain. He went through a very messy and public divorce, followed by a long and emotional custody battle over his daughter. He shared some of his breakdowns on social media, including a now viral video where he cried and shouted, "What more do you want from me?" That moment showed how deeply the pressure of fame and family struggles had affected him. Tyrese said the entertainment industry didn't care about his well-being. He felt misunderstood, used, and broken down by the system. At one point, he completely stepped away from making music and focused on healing his mind and heart. He also took a break from acting to protect his peace. Instead of chasing the spotlight, Tyrese started writing, speaking out about mental health, and spending more time with his family. He returned to music years later, but on his own terms. His later work was more personal and emotional, not just for the charts. Number 5. Tionne Watkins. T-Boz, whose real name is Tionne Watkins, was one of the lead singers of the legendary R&B group TLC. Along with Left Eye and Chili, she helped create hits like No Scrubs, Waterfalls, and Creep. TLC wasn't just about music. They spoke out about real-life issues like self-respect, love, and disease. Their songs made a huge impact around the world. T-Boz had a unique voice and a strong presence, but behind the scenes, she was fighting a silent battle. Since birth, she has lived with sickle cell anemia, a painful and serious blood disorder. The disease often made her weak and put her in the hospital. Doctors once told her she wouldn't live past 30, but T-Boz proved them wrong. Even with her health issues, T-Boz kept working and performing. But after the tragic death of her bandmate Left Eye in 2002, everything changed. The group took a long break, and T-Boz slowly stepped away from the spotlight. She later said that the music industry felt cold and stressful. Her body and heart needed rest. She also faced financial problems and even filed for bankruptcy. On top of that, she went through a divorce and became a single mom. T-Boz decided her daughter and her health had to come first. Fame wasn't worth risking her life or missing moments with her child. T-Boz didn't give up music completely. She released solo projects and TLC made a comeback years later, but she stayed in control. She made it clear. Her peace and family matter more than awards and fame. Next celebrity on our list, number 6, Maxwell. Maxwell was one of the smoothest voices in R&B. His songs like Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder, and Pretty Wings were loved by fans all over the world. He brought a soft, emotional sound that felt real and deep. People expected him to keep rising, but then something strange happened. He disappeared. After the release of his second album, Maxwell stepped away from music. For almost 8 years, he was silent. There were no new songs, no concerts, and no interviews. Many people wondered what had happened to him. Some thought he had quit for good, but the truth was more personal. Maxwell later shared that he needed a break from fame. He said the music industry moved too fast. He felt like he was losing touch with himself. The pressure to keep performing, recording, and staying in the spotlight became too much. He didn't want to just make music to meet deadlines or sell records. He wanted his music to come from the heart. So he made a bold choice. He walked away from the spotlight to find peace and grow as a person. He spent time thinking about who he was and what kind of music he truly wanted to make. It wasn't about money or fame anymore, it was about meaning. When he returned, his music had even more depth. Maxwell reminded everyone that sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, even if the whole world is watching. He didn't leave because he had to. He left because he chose to, and that made his comeback even stronger. Up next was a Grammy Award winner. No other person but number 7, Arie. Arie was one of the most powerful voices in R&B. She had hit songs, Grammy Awards, and a loyal fan base. Her music was full of love, truth, and strength. But behind the scenes, she was struggling. Even though she was successful, the music industry made her feel like she wasn't good enough. People told her she needed to lose weight. They said she wasn't sexy enough to be a star. India didn't want to change who she was just to fit in. The pressure became too much. She said the industry was fake. It wanted her to sell an image, not be herself. She felt like she had to wear tight clothes and look a certain way just to get played on the radio. That wasn't the kind of artist she wanted to be. So, Arie made a bold choice. She walked away from fame. She stepped back from the spotlight to focus on her soul. She turned to spirituality, meditation, and healing. She wanted to live with peace and purpose, not pressure and pain. She stopped trying to please the industry and started doing what felt right to her. India didn't disappear forever. She still makes music sometimes, but now it's on her terms. She doesn't chase fame. She chases truth. Number 8. Cody Chzentiti. Cody Chzentiti had something special. His voice was unique, his music was bold, and people quickly noticed him. In 2002, he released his first album called The Headphone Masterpiece. It was raw, honest, and different from anything else in R&B and rock at the time. Fans and critics loved it. He even got the attention of big names like The Roots, who covered his song The Seed and brought him into the spotlight. Suddenly, big record labels wanted him. There were offers for major deals, tours, and fame. But instead of jumping in, Cody stepped back. He didn't like how the industry worked. He felt it was fake, more about image and money than real music. He didn't want to change who he was just to fit someone else's idea of a star. So he walked away from the big offers. He left the spotlight and went back to a quiet life. Cody became a father and decided to focus on raising his kids. He also took time to reconnect with himself, his values, and his faith. Music was still a part of his life, but on his terms. He released songs when he felt ready, not when someone told him to. Number 9. Amel Larrieux. Amel Larrieux was the voice behind the hit 1995 song Tell Me as one half of the R&B duo Groove Theory. The group became popular fast. Their sound was smooth, cool, and different. Many people expected them to become a huge success. But just as the spotlight got brighter, Amel made a surprising choice. She left the group. It wasn't because of a big scandal. Amel simply didn't feel comfortable with the fast-paced music industry. The fame, pressure, and attention didn't match who she was inside. She was an artist who cared deeply about the meaning behind her music. She didn't want to be turned into a product or forced into a box. After leaving Groove Theory, she didn't chase more fame. Instead, she stepped away from the spotlight and focused on building her path. She started releasing music as a solo artist independently, without a major label controlling her. Her songs stayed true to her style. They were soulful, poetic, and full of emotion. Amel didn't care about radio hits or chart numbers. She cared about creating music that felt honest. She focused on her family, her creative freedom, and her peace of mind. While she may not be a household name like Beyoncé or Alicia Keys, Amel Larrieux earned something even more powerful: artistic freedom. She walked away from fame and chose to live a quiet, meaningful life doing what she loves. Up next was well known for his hit song, Wishing Well. Number 10. Terrence Trent Darby, now Sananda Maitreya. In the late 1980s, Terrence Trent Darby seemed unstoppable. His debut album, Introducing the Hardline, according to Terrence Trent Darby, sold millions of copies and included the hit song, Wishing Well. He had a unique voice, a strong stage presence, and was often compared to legends like Prince and James Brown. But even as he climbed the charts, Terrence felt trapped. Behind the scenes, he struggled with the pressure of fame. He didn't like how the music industry tried to shape his image and control his career. The fame that others dreamed of made him feel lost and unhappy. Instead of playing along, Terrence made a bold choice. He walked away. In 2001, he announced that Terrence Trent D'Arby was dead. He said the name no longer fit who he was. He changed his name to Sananda Maitreya, saying it was a spiritual rebirth. The name change shocked fans, but for him, it was the start of a new life. Sananda moved to Europe and settled in Italy. Far from the pressure of the American music industry, he began releasing music independently. He recorded albums in his home studio and shared them online with loyal fans. He didn't want to be a star anymore. He just wanted to make music the way he felt it. Though he left the spotlight, Sananda Maitreya never stopped creating. He still writes, sings, and performs, but on his own terms. He found peace in being true to himself, even if it meant walking away from the fame that once made him famous. Number 11. Tweet. Tweet was a rising R&B star in the early 2000s. Her song, Oops Oh My, became a huge hit. It was produced by Timbaland and featured Missy Elliott. The song played everywhere on the radio, on music channels, and in clubs. People loved her soft voice and her unique style. Tweet quickly became one of the most talked about new artists. But while everything looked great on the outside, Tweet was struggling behind the scenes. The music industry was not easy. She felt a lot of pressure to look and act a certain way. She had to deal with image issues, record label demands, and constant stress. It all became too much. Tweet began to suffer from depression. She also had health problems and started to feel lost. She said that even though she was famous, she didn't feel happy. The fame, attention, and fast lifestyle weren't good for her mental health. She needed a break. So instead of chasing more hit songs or fame, Tweet made a big decision. She stepped away from the spotlight. She took time to focus on herself and her healing. During this time, she also reconnected with her faith. She found strength in her relationship with God and started to rebuild her life more healthily. Tweet didn't disappear forever. She still makes music sometimes, but now she does it on her own terms. She sings when she feels ready, not because she has to. Walking away from fame helped her find peace, health, and faith. She proved that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is walk away to find themselves again. Number 12. Donell Jones. Donell Jones was one of the smoothest voices in R&B during the late 90s and early 2000s. His songs like Where I Wanna Be and You Know What's Up were played everywhere. Fans loved his soulful style and honest lyrics about love, heartbreak, and real life. He had fame, money, and success, but something was wrong behind the scenes. As his career grew, Donell started to struggle with addiction. The pressure of the music business and the fast-paced lifestyle were too much. He was drinking heavily and using substances to cope. Even though he looked fine on stage, inside he was falling apart. He felt like he was losing control of his life. Donell knew he had to make a choice: keep chasing fame or save himself. So he stepped away from the spotlight. He stopped releasing music for a while and focused on getting sober. He also wanted to be a better father and reconnect with his family. He said he missed important moments in their lives while he was caught up in the industry. In later interviews, Donell said walking away was hard but necessary. He needed time to heal, reflect, and find peace. He got clean, found his faith again, and returned to music only when he felt ready. Looking back, he calls it the best decision he ever made. Donell Jones didn't quit music forever. He just learned how to live without letting fame control him. Number 13. Sunshine Anderson. Sunshine Anderson became famous with her song, Heard It All Before. The song was a big hit and many people loved it. It played a lot on the radio, and Sunshine was suddenly a well-known R&B singer. People thought she would keep making more hit songs and become even bigger. But things didn't go as expected. After her initial success, Sunshine Anderson's time in the spotlight was very short. She did not continue chasing fame or trying to stay in the music business at the same fast pace. Instead, she made a choice that surprised many people. She decided to step away from the music world and the bright lights of fame. One big reason for this change was her daughter. Sunshine wanted to focus on being a good mother and spending time with her family. She wanted to be there for her daughter and watch her grow up. Being a mom became much more important to Sunshine than being famous. Also, Sunshine turned to her faith. She found comfort and strength in her beliefs, and this helped her make peace with leaving the music industry behind. Her faith gave her a new sense of purpose and happiness outside of the fame she once had. Besides family and faith, Sunshine also started working in areas outside of music. She tried new things and explored life beyond being a singer. This helped her grow as a person and find new ways to be happy. For Sunshine Anderson, walking away from fame was not about giving up or losing. It was about growing up and making choices that were right for her life. She chose a different path, one that brought her peace and joy, even if it meant leaving the spotlight behind. Next celebrity on our list, her music career changed when she sang at the presidential inauguration in January 2017. Number 14, Cricet Michelle. Cricet Michelle was a very successful R&B singer. She had won Grammy Awards and was loved by many fans. Her music touched people, and she was known for her beautiful voice and meaningful songs. Everything seemed to be going well for her career. But everything changed when Cricet decided to sing at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration in January 2017. This event was very controversial and divided many people. Some fans and others in the music industry strongly disagreed with her choice to perform there. They felt it was a political statement they did not support. After the inauguration, Cricet Michelle faced a huge backlash. Many people criticized her openly on social media and in the news. The negative attention was very intense. Her career began to fall apart very quickly. Shows were canceled, and she lost a lot of support from fans and fellow artists. It felt like everything she had built was crashing down. Instead of trying to fight the backlash or explain her decision, Cricet chose to disappear from the public eye. She stepped away from the music business and stopped making new music for a while. During this time, she struggled with her mental health. The pressure and criticism affected her deeply. She experienced depression and even had thoughts of suicide. But Cricet did not give up. Over time, she decided to walk away from fame and the harsh judgment that came with it. She wanted to heal and rebuild her life in a quieter way. She focused on finding peace and happiness away from the spotlight. Today, Cricet Michelle is working on her own path, stronger and more at peace with herself than before. Up next, they were well known for mixing real-life struggles with catchy R&B and hip-hop beats. Number 15, Claudette Ortiz. Claudette Ortiz was the female singer in the early 2000s group City High. Their hit song, What Would You Do, made her voice instantly recognizable. The group was known for mixing real-life struggles with catchy R&B and hip-hop beats. Claudette stood out because of her smooth voice and natural beauty. Many people thought she was about to become a huge solo star, but behind the scenes, things were not as perfect as they seemed. Claudette had to deal with a lot of stress. She was in a group with two men she had dated first with Robbie Pardlow, then later with Ryan Toby. That caused a lot of personal tension. On top of that, the group had issues with bad contracts and poor management. Claudette didn't feel like she had control over her career. As time went on, her personal life became more difficult. She became a single mother and had to take care of her children without much support. Instead of chasing fame, Claudette decided to step away from the music industry. She put her focus on raising her kids and finding peace. Later, she appeared on the reality show R&B Divas, Los Angeles, which gave fans a chance to see what she had been through. She was honest about her struggles and said that fame didn't bring her happiness. Today, Claudette Ortiz only sings when she truly wants to. She makes music on her own terms, not because she needs to be famous. For her, leaving the spotlight was not failure, it was freedom. Number 16, Bilal. Bilal was one of the most talented singers in neo-soul. His voice was smooth, emotional, and full of power. In 2001, he released his debut album, Firstborn Second. The album got great reviews, and people in the music world saw him as the next big thing. He worked with stars like Erykah Badu, Common, and The Roots. Everyone thought Bilal would become a major R&B star. But then something happened. Bilal recorded his second album, Love for Sale, in 2006. It was different. It was bold. It didn't sound like the usual radio hits. The record label didn't like it. They thought it was too risky, so they shelved it. That means they refused to release it. The album leaked online and fans loved it, but it never got an official release. This crushed Bilal's chances at mainstream success. Instead of chasing chart hits, he stepped back. He kept making music, but on his own terms. He released albums like Airtight's Revenge and In Another Life, but they didn't get radio play. He didn't tour much or do big media events. Bilal chose art over fame. He didn't want to be shaped by the music industry. He wanted to stay true to himself. Even though he didn't become a household name, real fans still admire him. He's known for his creativity, passion, and honesty. Bilal walked away from the spotlight, but he never stopped singing from the soul. Number 17, Lala Hathaway. Lala Hathaway was born into music royalty. Her father was Donny Hathaway, one of the most respected soul singers of all time. From a young age, people expected big things from her. She had a strong, soulful voice and clear talent. But unlike many artists, Lala didn't chase fame or chart-topping hits. Instead of rushing into the spotlight, she took her time. She studied music at Berklee College of Music and worked hard to understand her craft. When she began releasing her own songs, critics praised her voice. But she didn't care about becoming a pop star. She focused on quality, not fame. Lala built a quiet but steady career. She performed live, often on smaller stages, and connected with fans through real music. She avoided drama and stayed away from the tabloids. She never needed scandals or headlines to get attention. Her goal was to be true to herself and her sound. Over the years, she won multiple Grammy Awards not for flashy hits, but for powerful vocals and true musicianship. She sang backup for big artists, collaborated with jazz legends, and kept her music honest. Lala didn't want to be a product. She wanted to be an artist. Number 18, Rez. Rez was a rising star in the early 2000s. Her debut album, How I Do, came out in 2001 and blended rock, soul, hip-hop, and R&B in a way that felt fresh and original. Critics loved it. People praised her voice, her songwriting, and her unique style. It wasn't like anything else on the radio. But even though the music was strong, the label didn't give it enough support. The business side wasn't ready for someone like her. She didn't fit into a neat box. She wasn't a typical R&B singer, and she wasn't fully rock either. Because of this, the label didn't know how to market her, and her album didn't get the push it needed. Rez felt frustrated. She had talent, she had something to say, but the industry didn't seem to care. After facing label issues, she faded from the mainstream spotlight. But she didn't stop making music. She kept creating on her own, releasing songs independently and working with other artists. She even toured with bands and performed live, keeping her connection with fans. Though fame walked away, her passion stayed strong. Rez chose freedom over fame. She didn't want to be controlled or forced into a certain image. She stayed true to herself, even if it meant fewer headlines or chart hits. Today, Rez is still seen as a powerful voice in music. She may not be in the mainstream anymore, but her story is one of strength, independence, and staying true to her art. Number 19, Van Hunt. Van Hunt is a very talented singer and songwriter. He even won a Grammy Award for his music. People liked his unique sound, which mixed different styles like soul, rock, and R&B. His first album was successful, and many thought he would become a big star. But Van Hunt did not want to follow the usual path in the music industry. He did not like how the business worked. He wanted to make music his way, not just what the record labels told him to do. This caused problems when he started working on his second album. His second album was finished, but the record company decided not to release it. This meant his music would not reach many people. Instead of fighting the company or trying to stay in the spotlight, Van Hunt chose a different path. He left the big music business and moved to the independent music scene. In the indie scene, artists have more freedom. They can create the music they want without pressure from big companies. Van Hunt worked quietly, making music he believed in. he stayed away from the noise of fame and the constant attention of the media. Years later, Van Hunt came back with new music, but this time he did it completely on his terms. He did not care about charts or popularity. He cared about being true to himself and his music. By walking away from the mainstream, Van Hunt found his peace and kept his creativity alive. Last celebrity on our list. Number 20, Rashad Patterson. Rashad Patterson is a singer with a very soulful and powerful voice. He started his music career in the 1990s, a time when R&B music was very popular. He became known for his smooth singing style and heartfelt songs. Many people loved his music, and he built a strong group of fans who appreciated his talent. Even though he was successful, Rashad never wanted to be a big pop star. He did not like the idea of chasing fame or being famous just for the sake of it. For him, music was about expressing himself and connecting with people, not about being in the spotlight or on the cover of magazines. As time passed, the music industry changed a lot. New styles of music became popular, and the business side of the industry became more focused on making stars and selling records quickly. Rashad did not want to be part of that fast-moving fame game, so he chose to step back quietly from the big stage and the loud world of celebrity. Even though he was not in the spotlight anymore, Rashad kept making music. He continued to create songs and albums for the fans who had stayed loyal to him. These fans loved his honesty and the deep emotions in his music. Rashad's voice and style remained strong and meaningful, even if he was not famous like some other artists. In the end, Rashad Patterson showed that you can have a lasting music career without chasing fame. His voice still shines through his songs, touching the hearts of many people who truly appreciate real, soulful music. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.